So we will now start off with a very important topic in radiation, the topic all of you have been waiting for. I mean, that is how do you calculate radiation heat transfer between surfaces. As far as engineers are concerned, there are many surfaces, each is having its own temperature, each is having its own reflectivity, emissivity and so on, absorptivity. And when these surfaces are a part of an enclosure or otherwise, what is a net radiation heat transfer? This is basically required. Even if other modes of heat transfer are there, for example conduction and convection, you have to take care of radiation, right. So you may solve your convective heat transfer at every iteration, you may stop, calculate the radiative heat transfer rate, update in your convection solver and proceed, or it may be just a pure radiation problem. For example, you are interested in the cooling of electronics, okay, in a satellite, okay. So you have a lot of equipment which is generating heat, and the temperature of those equipment has to be controlled, okay. How will you do that? You will employ a heat exchanger, right. You will have a heat exchanger, it will pick up the heat, and then the fluid which has picked up the heat must be cooled again, so that it is in a position to pick up the heat again, because these electronics are continuously operating, correct. So that hot fluid has to become cold fluid somehow. So therefore you need an exchanger. Unfortunately, there is no ambient air in the outer space, okay. No convective heat transfer is possible, therefore only radiative heat transfer is possible, okay. So if radiative heat transfer is possible, so your design hinges on how you are able to select your surfaces, what is the configuration, whether you want to have fins, what type of fins you want to have, how many number of fins, what will be the fin pitch thickness, what material, and you have to solve the combined conduction radiation problem and design this space heat exchanger, right. So there are so many applications in which this has become important, satellite temperature control, design of combustion chambers, design of furnaces, design of radiant superheaters in your boilers, okay. Even in other problems where you have cooling of electronics, radiation also has its part to play. I told you in one of the earlier classes that even at a low temperature radiation is significant, right. It is comparable with natural convection and so on. Therefore it is imperative that we have a method to compute the radiative heat transfer between surfaces, okay. So let us start off with this topic. So we learn what is called as the enclosure theory, right. So enclosure theory was developed by Professor E.M. Sparrow and his colleagues at the University of Minnesota in the US in the early 60s, okay. So Sparrow did not do much, he just wrote some 800, 900 papers and he guided some 100 PhD students, okay. He is still there, he teaches numerical heat transfer and radiative heat transfer in Minnesota, he is about 82 or 83, he is still alive. If you are going to US, if people are going to US, at least you must go to Minnesota and see him and come, right, when he is alive. So 100 graduate students, 800 papers, okay. So this enclosure theory is not been challenged, he developed it 40-50 years back, even today it is very popular, we use it, even your Fluent and other commercial software use this, okay. So what is so great, what did Sparrow figure out? The key idea is like this. Suppose there is a furnace, I am looking on only at the sectional view, there is a dimension in the direction perpendicular to the plane of the board. Let us consider only some 4 surfaces T1, T2, T3, T4 temperatures of the 4 surfaces, emissivity is okay. So, radiation from this surface can go here, can go here, can go here. Radiation from this surface can come, this surface can come, and this surface can also. So, the key idea which Professor Sparrow used was, you account for all the radiation which is originating from a surface and all the radiation which is falling on the surface, and what is going out minus what is coming in. This has to be balanced among all the surfaces. Okay. So, by taking into account all the radiation which is originating from a surface, all the radiation which is falling on a surface, essentially this you can solve it as a system of simultaneous equations, wherein you can get all the radiative fluxes you desire. This is the idea. Now, what is a gray, what is so great, anyway it is enclosure, radiation from one surface will hit the other surface, will get reflected and all that. But the key point is, suppose you have a configuration like this. Suppose you have what is called an open cavity like this. There are 3 surfaces, T1, T2, T3. The beauty of the enclosure theory is, now it is not an enclosure, right? It is like an open cup, whatever. The beauty of the enclosure theory is, you close the top by an imaginary surface. That imaginary surface has 0 reflectivity, that is, it is a perfect emitter and has a temperature equal to T infinity. Okay. So, that is the beauty. So, I consider it as the 4th surface. Now, I also treat it as an enclosure. Okay. So, any possible configuration on this planet Earth can be treated as an enclosure if the surface is open, put a dotted line and close the surface. For example, even a simple there is a simple one surface enclosure. So, this is a how many surface enclosure? Very good, 4 surface enclosure. This is a 3 converted to 4, okay, 3 converted to 4. Now, this also according to enclosure theory, we can enclose it in a hemispherical, you can enclose a hemispherical basket. So, make it T1, T2, epsilon 2, epsilon 2 is equal to 1, T2 equal to T infinity. Therefore, any possible configuration, whether the surfaces are plane, convex, concave, whatever it is, if some surface is open, you put a dotted line and close it and make everything in the world an enclosure, and then start writing, looking at the energy balance in each of this. This is the key idea behind the enclosure theory. But with the information you already have, that is the last 2 months looking at the radiation physics, looking at the Planck's distribution, then the integral version is sigma T to the power of 4, then looking at all the emissivities, absorptivities, transmissivities as a function of angle, as a function of wavelength and all that, that knowledge is not enough, because that is all fine if you want to calculate radiation from one surface, but now you are looking at radiation from an enclosure. Obviously, you can see that geometry has a critical role to play. The size of the various surfaces in the enclosure and the orientation of one surface with respect to another will eventually decide what is the net radiation heat transfer from each of the surfaces. Therefore, geometry plays a critical part. Okay, geometry played a critical part already in our definition of solid angle. Now it will keep haunting you, it will haunt you again. Now more geometry will come, because already you can see that you have to calculate the view factors from a particular surface 1 to all the other surfaces, and vice versa, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, similarly 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4 and so on. You have to complete the view factors between all the surfaces. Therefore, the next key idea which we will introduce is the view factor. What is the basic formula for the view factor? How do we go about calculating these view factors if you are solving an enclosure problem? Okay. No, what is the orientation of one surface to another surface, that you do not know. That is one thing, and within a particular surface it can be non-isothermal. That means you have to subdivide a surface into subsurfaces, and the other surface may also be non-isothermal. Yeah, you have to find out. See, from here totally 100, for example 100 watts is going out, for argument's sake, out of which how much is going to 4, how much is going to 3, how much is going to 2. That depends on the relative size of the surfaces and the angle or the orientation, isn't it? That we will have to know. Okay. So, we have to introduce this concept called view factor. For those people who are very algebraically inclined, view factors are pure fun. Okay, puzzles and brain teasers and problems you will see. First initially I will put some complicated formula and all that, but hopefully we do not use that. Without using the formula, by using algebra we can get. So, the story will evolve slowly. Now we will have to, it is also called shape factor. Angle factor, configuration factor, geometric factor, there are various other names. View factor is most widely used. Now, there is a surface AI, it has a temperature Ti. I take an elemental area dAI. Okay. Now, the unit vector is Ni. There is one more surface AJ, he is having emissivity, no, he is having a temperature Tj. Do not worry, let us not worry about emissivity now. Okay. Now, I am taking an elemental area dJ, dAj. Now, the unit vector is Nj. Now, I connect the centroid of this to the centroid of this. And this distance I call it as radius r, I mean r. This angle I call theta I, and this angle theta j. Okay. So, F Fij represents the view factor from the ith surface to the jth surface. So, we can take down this definition, the view factor Fij, the view factor Fij between two finite areas Ai and Aj, the view factor Fij between two finite areas Ai and Aj denoted by Fij. So, the view factor between two finite areas Ai and Aj denoted by Fij is the fraction of the radiation leaving the surface I, is a fraction of the surface leaving the fraction of the radiation leaving the surface I that is intercepted by the surface J, is the fraction of the radiation leaving the surface I that is intercepted by the surface J. So, what are the units of Fij? No units, dimensionless. What are the limits of Fij, lowest and highest?
0 to 1.
Very good. It is an efficiency. How much the second fellow absorbs it, picks up the radiation of the first fellow. It varies from 0 to 1. It cannot take negative values. It cannot take values more than 1. It does not have units of watts per meter square or steradian to the power of -1 or meter to the power of -1, whatever. Okay. Now anyway, when we have drawn so much, when there is so much build up, logically mathematical formulae must flow, right. So how do you go about, how do you get the fraction? How do you get the fraction? So the Fij will be written by whatever radiation coming from I received by J divided by the total radiation leaving I, okay. So we have to evaluate the numerator and the denominator and make it more general, and now we will arrive at a general formula for Fij. Now let us start with the general formula of f of dAi to dAj, that is view factor between two elemental areas, that I will call it as dF, that is elemental view factor. Then I will integrate first with respect to Aj, then I will integrate with respect to Aa, then two infinitesimally small areas, one infinitesimally small area to a finite area, then between two finite areas. That is the way our derivation will proceed. So first, what is the radiation which is leaving I, which is intercepted by, what is dq, dAi, dAj? Capital I is the intensity of surface, I is intensity of I, Ij is intensity of J. It goes back to our definition of solid angle, from there you go to same story starts. I, first we will start with I. Very good, dAi cos theta, very good. D omega j to I, if that is what you are implying, it is fine. D omega, for people who have not followed, I will come again. Intensity in watts per meter square, okay, per steradian, watts per meter square per steradian, multiplied by dAi to take care of the projected area cos theta is coming, because this fellow has to go in this direction, right, you want to do this, okay. Then d omega j or ji, fine. Now we can write the expression for d omega, that is elemental solid angle. Next step, equal to, is equals, not Aj, dAj, very good, by
R square.
very good. Is everybody through with this? Now you can substitute for d omega ji in equation 1. I have not evaluated the fraction, okay, I am just writing the dq first. So I am getting the numerator in the definition. Substituting for okay. Now we consider I, to be a diffuse emitter and diffuse reflector, that means it does not have a directional preference, okay. Suppose I, so put it as 3, okay. So what will be the total energy which is leaving, or this I consists of what all components? What is leaving a surface consists of how many components? Emitted and reflected. Okay. Now I am saying it is diffuse, so I will say I, okay, the intensity, you can have intensity corresponding to emission, intensity corresponding to reflection. Now I am already saying that it is diffuse, so it does not have a directional dependence, so I can make it pi. Okay. So to make it clear, I will make it this, I call it as Ji. Did I define this? J is called the radiosity. Have I defined this earlier? Okay. I am introducing a new term in today's class. J is called the radiosity. Okay. J is called the radiosity. Okay. So radiosity, what are the units of that fellow? So E is like a flux, okay, that is the leaving intensity multiplied by pi for a diffuse this. Do not ask me, sir, what happens if it is not diffuse and all that, then all this theory will not apply, you have to, it becomes more difficult, okay. This theory is applicable for great diffuse surfaces. I will tell towards the end, we will say, we will list out the assumptions, what are the assumptions under which this theory is valid, okay. Now can I convert the I to J, right? I think it is fine, right? Is it fine? Okay. Let's call, let's assign a number 4 to this. So what is the radiation leaving DAI? What is the radiation leaving DAI? The radiation leaving DAI is Ji into DAI. Okay, radiation leaving DAI agreed? Watts per meter square into meter square watt. Okay, then if you look at the units for equation 1, 2, equation 1, 3 and 4, they are all having units of watt, very good. Now I can get the fraction, okay. Therefore equal to cos theta I cos theta I cos theta j F is a fraction, F is dimensionless, right side, is it consistent? Sure, if it is not consistent, we made a mistake, right. dA has got meter square, r square has got meter square gets cancelled. Okay, suppose you do not have, this is a fundamental formula which can be used. For example, you are computationally very rich, right. You have a lot of resources with you, then each of the surfaces you can divide into thousands of surfaces and treat each of the surfaces DAI. You divide that wall into another 1000 surface, each of these DAJ. So you name this 1 to 1000, that is 1001 to 2000. So 1 to 1001, 1 to 1002, 1 to 1003, you simply computer will calculate. You locate the center there. The root of x2 minus xj minus xi whole square plus yj minus yj whole square, root of all sigma of all the 3, root of, that will give r, calculate the cos theta, then you can do this, right. Now you can see that view factor is not easy, right. So if you want to subdivide and do, then it involves lot of computational power, okay. But one good thing is, if you have your geometry fixed, before you start your heat transfer problem, you just, if the geometry is fixed, your view factor calculation is done. But your CFD solver is not like that is a stupid thing. Every time the velocity will get updated, it is a non-linear problem. Here it is like your mesh. If people are using Fluent, you know, if Gambit, you do it once for all, that is it, unless your geometry is changing, okay. So view factor, the geometry is fixed, you can determine the view factors once and for all, okay. Now we are not interested in this view factor between infinitesimal areas. Now we want to look at view factor between first one infinitesimal to finite area, then between two finite areas, okay. So this is one. Now I want to calculate the view factor between dAi to Aj, okay. Now what is the numerator? Over feel confident, over very good, divided by Ji Ji dAi, that fellow stays because it is from dAi only, okay. Now the dAi can be pulled out, okay. Ji dAj, r will be a function of this, right. I cannot take r out, r will vary between two infinitesimal areas, right. Pi, if you want, you can put it inside, or I hope I have not made any mistake, is that correct? Any problem? Fine. Instead of saying each time f of ai to aj, I can just say f of I to j. What is that? Divided by
integral j
very good, no, okay, integral, if I assume that it is a uniform radiosity, then can I get rid of that? For a uniform radiosity, equal to that correct? There is a JIAA in the denominator, there is a JI in the numerator, okay. So, the JI gets cancelled. Any problem? What is that? There is no integration. No. I don't get you.
Integration is for the
Yeah, okay. Now, if you want to get view factor between these surfaces, now very good. This room is very ideal for explaining view factor. One brown color box is there, surface. From brown color box to another brown color box, that is I to j. Each of these I to j, what you can do is you can subdivide those boxes. Each hole is there. No, consider around each hole 4 holes as dai. There some 4 holes as daj. Calculate the view factor. Like that, it will vary, right? The r will vary from this last hole from the. If you look at the southeast corner and the northwest corner there will be change in r, okay. And please do not underestimate the importance of this, do not underestimate that the difficulty associated with this. Integral ai, if it is a 2-dimensional surface, integral ai will represent dx dy, integral aj will represent dx dy, ai will be dxi dyi, dxi dyi dx to j du. So, Sparrow and his colleagues then after doing all this, they developed a technique called contour integration. Contour integration is a special craft known only to radiation heat transfer people, because to break down this quadruple integral, there are it is not in, we are more than triple integral, okay. So, fortunately for us this 4 integrals have been solved and it is available in the form of charts, simple cylindrical disc to cylindrical disc to disc, okay. Parallelogram shape surface to rectangular surfaces, cuboidal surfaces, perpendicular surfaces and so on, okay. Now, this is the view factor for a uniform radiosity. By intuition, can you tell me what will be, what fji will be? Okay. One by I think we need to put some numbers. What was this number? 6, 7. By looking at 7 and 8, what can you say? AIFij equal to AJSJI. This is what is called the reciprocal rule or reciprocity relation, okay. This is called the now I want to solve a 4 zone enclosure. If I have to use the double integral and all this, it is going to take a lot of time. So, I want to see if there are some clever ways of getting the view factors without going through this painful integrals, okay. So, this whole subfield where we try to manipulate algebraically and get view factors with minimum recourse to the original formula which involves integration is a subfield called as view factor algebra. So, we will now get into view factor algebra, because fine, this is okay. If you can write your program and you are computationally very rich, use this, get view factors between whatever surfaces you have and continue your problem. But now, since this could be very messy, this could involve a lot of computational time and effort, can we simplify for simple surfaces, simple enclosures, can we get better than this without taking recourse to this? Can we get view factors? Yes, there are ways of getting this. So, that is a very interesting field called view factor algebra. Okay, let us take an enclosure. Okay, consider an enclosure of n sides. Soumya, what is the problem? Difficulty staying awake. Huh? Not well.
Taken a medicine.
Taken a medicine. Cetirizine. Okay. So, there are two medicines which are working. I hope everybody got it. Huh? Okay. Now, for a, you got it, Deepak? He is feeling sleepy because he has taken medicine. I am saying that there are two medicines which are working. Apart from that medicine, there is one more. Okay. Now, if there is a n surface enclosure, n square view factors, why so much n square view factors will be there. What are these view factors? So, I will say total number of Vf is view factor is n square. Okay, I can write it like this: F11, F12, so on up to F1n, F21, F22, F2n, Fn1, Fn2, do you think it is very pragmatic for us for a 5 surface enclosure to get all the 25 view factors by using that stupid integral? So, there should be some other way out. Already we got some idea. A1 F12 equal to A2 F21, A1 F13 is equal to A3. So, some fellows I am knocking off because of the reciprocal rules. Let us see if additional rules are available. All these constitute the algebra. Fine. Now, please tell me. Yeah, please look at the board and tell me. What is this? Very good. It has to be 1 because this is energy balance. From a surface 1, if there is a 5 surface enclosure, F1 to 1 plus F1 to 2 plus F1 to 3 plus F1 to 4 plus F1 to 5 must be 1. Where else will the energy go? Okay. So, this is now for a n surface enclosure, how many such rules are available? N. So, by the way, this is called the summation rule or the sum rule. For a n surface enclosure, how many reciprocal rules are there? You take NC2, very good, NC2 relations, 2 combinations, take 2 surfaces at a time, n This is equal to n into n minus 1 by 2, right? So how many independent view factors have to be evaluated? N square minus n into n minus 1 by 2, correct? Because you can exploit the summation rule as well as the reciprocal rules. Therefore, the number of independent view factors to be determined what is this? 2n square minus n square plus n, do all that. This again NC2, right? What one more? No, that I am coming. You are already jumping the gun. Okay, NC2, fine. Now let us look at the if all the surfaces are plane or convex, what will this Fii be? 0. Okay, for a surface like this, for this surface, please note, concave surface will give some gut butt. So you have to handle concave surfaces with care. Convex surface, there is no problem, because if it is like a hemispherical cup, it will look at itself. So that is called FII, it is called, give some name, self view factor. Okay. Now if all the surfaces are plane or convex, total number of independent view factors how many such self view factors are there? Very good. Yeah. So the goal of the view factor algebra is to ultimately determine the number of independent view factors which have to be evaluated necessarily by adopting that cos theta I, cos theta j. Now let us look at a very elementary problem, simple problem. Let us take a 3 surface enclosure, that is a triangular duct. Some gases are going inside and all that, convection radiation is taking place, do not worry about convection. Triangular surface n equal to 3. If we apply this formula, how many independent view factors have to be determined? 0. That means without using that integral, you can get all the view factors. Can you get those view factors now? Shall we look at a general triangular enclosure? Let us do that problem and close the discussion for the day. Which means you will write all algebraic relationships, manipulate the algebraic relationships and get all the view factors. Okay, A, length is A. Yeah, what is this problem number? Problem number 17, okay. You can word the problem appropriately. Consider a triangular enclosure. Consider a triangular enclosure with three surfaces of length A, B, C. Determine all the view factors, right? Consider a triangular enclosure. How many of you got it already? Huh? Yeah, what is it? Get, I want a very nice answer. Is it? What? I will demonstrate. Please look at the board. Huh? It's unit depth in the other direction, no problem.
AB equal to 1 divided by 1 plus area of A divided by
What area is the length, man, into 1?
length of A BC divided by length of
I will show you quickly. I will show you quickly a very cheeky way of doing it. Okay, right? Okay. Okay. Agreed. Is everybody through with this? Pavan, Amrita, you have written all this. Now, please look at the board. Please look at the board. I multiply the first equation by A. I multiply the second equation by B. I multiply the third equation by C. I call this equation 4, 5, 6. I didn't do anything great now. Now I will do 4 plus 5 minus 6. What is the beauty? AFAC equal to CFCA. I am adding 4 and 5 and subtracting from 6. Therefore, these two will go. Okay. BFBA equal to BFBC equal to CFBC. This will go. AFAB equal to BFBA. That is equal to 2 times. Correct. That's it. People who don't believe what I am saying, consider an equilateral triangle. What do you expect all the view factors to be? Equilateral triangle. Equal. Equal means what? 0.5. Are you getting? Let us take 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. 1 meter plus 1 meter minus 1 meter by 2 meters. 0.5. Okay, there are some complicated ways of doing, but don't get psyched, man. I am teaching for many years, so it has taken many years for me to come out with such things. Okay. So it can be easily done, even if you don't do this trick, cheeky algebra, by elaborate manipulation you can get the same result. Okay. So tomorrow we will solve several puzzles. We will look at a cylinder within a cylinder, sphere with a sphere, cylinder in a cylinder within a half circle and all that, and get view factors. Okay. And we will have to do 1 or 2 problems where the integral is also involved, so that you know how to handle that. Okay.